Welcome back to Arise Prime Time, where we offer perspectives on the news and talking points of the day. I'm Charles Anyegolu. Now to a towering legacy, a multi-talented family that's been described as Africa's premier musical dynasty, who invented their own genre of music, a unique sound known as Afrobeat that's reached audiences across the world. It was originally shaped and defined by one man, Fela Anikulapo Kuti, amid the culture and conflict of Nigeria. But today that legacy lives on through his children, and prominent amongst them is the Grammy-nominated multi-instrumentalist Seun Kuti. Beyond his groundbreaking, superbly original music, Seun, like his father before him, is also something of a political revolutionary, strongly criticizing corruption, injustice, and oppression in Nigeria. It's made him hugely popular, a hero to many working-class Nigerians. But is his incredible music that is still his biggest draw? A lot of people tapping their feet here, and I'm suitably delighted to say that the impossibly multi-talented Seun Kuti joins me now from our studios in Lagos. Thank you very much indeed, Seun, for coming in, although you were a bit late, which rather shortens the time that we've got with you, sadly.
Hi, how you doing, Charles? I can't really hear you, kind of breaking up.
Oh dear, that's a bit sad. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, I can hear you better now.
Right. I was just saying that we're really delighted to have you, and it's a bit sad that you came in a bit later than we were expecting you, so that means that the time we've got with you is slightly shorter.
I'm really sorry, it was just a little bit of miscommunication. He told me at 8, but he said, I don't need you to come in at 8 because you are not the first to go on, so maybe between 8:15 and 8:30. And me, with my lazy self, I just chose the 8:30 end of the spectrum.
Anyway, the point is that you made it here, so we're absolutely delighted. I mean, we're listening to a bit of your music there. Of course, very socially and politically conscious. I mean, how much does that music you produce deliver the sort of impact that you would like it to?
Oh, well, you know, music is the sort of art that is kind of everlasting. So for me, definitely, I'm not even looking at only today. I'm looking at a time in Africa where young African people are on the march to their freedom. And my music is one of those songs that are chosen as the soundtrack to our great movement of liberation. You know, this is why I write songs. This is what I think about when I'm writing my songs. You know, the joyous moment. You know, Africans are on their path to fulfilling their true potential. You know, as the greatest people in the world. You know, and having strong Pan-Africanist songs. You know, to back that. That is my own dream.
Well, actually, that's the thing that is so attractive, I think, certainly for me, about your music. And of course, for a lot of other people, because it's been good enough to be nominated for a Grammy. So that really affirms your style. But it also affirms your success, doesn't it?
Well, you know, I don't think so. You know, I think success is also subjective, you know. What does it mean to be successful? You know, does it mean that you're able to do the things you want to do and you're happy doing the things you want to do and you are your own man and you can make your own artistic decisions and also personal decisions in your life? What is success really? Or does it mean we have enough fiat currency to just consume as much as we want, even though we are living in a world where, you know, we are complaining every day about waste and global warming and everybody is just consuming and consuming. So success is relative. I think, yeah, maybe if I was after some money, I can say yes, it's affecting my success. But the fact that, you know, I see success as being able to be your own person, I wouldn't say it is really affecting my success. Maybe financial success, yes, but not as a human being, no.
Well, let's talk about the things that you are ideologically grounded in, which is probably perhaps a way to measure that success. The fact that you really believe in the things that you talk about: African empowerment, the fight against corruption, instituting a better government and governance in Nigeria. You've been making a lot of comments recently about the upcoming presidential election and some of the candidates, and also the issues around that ballot. I mean, what has captured your interest and caught your attention most about that upcoming election?
I think the most important part of this election, is youth participation. The way young people are participating, and not only young people actually. I mean, even professionals. And professionals are the most apathetical people in Nigeria when it comes to elections. But this year, a lot of us are like, really involved and trying to make it happen. Everybody's like, I'm voting like that. So that for me is the greatest, most interesting thing I've seen in this election. And I hope that we're able to carry that same energy going forward, in terms of also participating not only in the voting process of our election, but also in the civil part of our elections as well, governance as well.
Yes, that's actually a very good call. And I hope a lot of people are listening to what you're saying there. But you've also been known to talk about your favorite candidates and your least favorite candidates. I mean, I've heard it said that you think Omoyele Sowore is your man for the top job, and that you don't particularly like Peter Obi and the support that he's got from people like Obasanjo. I mean, what are your? Can you kind of clarify and expand a bit on that?
No, okay. Let me clarify. I haven't said Sowore is my man for the job, and I can't even say that officially. I am the pro tem chairman of the Movement of the People, and it's impossible for me to have a candidate in the election that is not in my movement. When we become a party, I've been stopped by my organization from campaigning or choosing any candidate. What I have said, though, is that of all the candidates, in this 2023, my preference, the one I prefer, I think is the best, is Omoyele Sowore. And I said, even at that, I don't think that the movement that he has led can accomplish what we need in 2023, which is a complete overhaul of the establishment, and that was the point I was trying to make. And I said that even if the internet's favorite, who is Peter Obi, wins, he will face the same issue, which is a government that is hostile to him, from day one, and people were angry because I said he was an opportunist, but in the right form of the word, that's what happened. He saw an opportunity and he took it. Just that for me, in business life, opportunism is awesome. If you're doing business, you see an opportunity, you nail it, you enter. But in politics, opportunism must be frowned upon. If we want to move forward, opportunism doesn't work in politics. Coup d'etats, even if you look at this president that we have now, Buhari, his first term he came in as an opportunist, setting up, jumping on the bandwagon and doing a coup d'etat to remove Shagari because Nigerians were angry with Shagari's governance. But was he able to deliver anything in 1984 for Nigerian people? No, he didn't even last 2 years in the presidency before another opportunist, which was IBB, removed him. What did he do for Nigeria? Nothing. So coup d'etats and things like this, we have to see it from a political point of view. Politics is not business. Business is profit and loss. So you make a mistake, you lose money, or you do some opportunism and you make it and you make a lot of money. But in politics, it is life and death. This is a different thing. We need concrete plans. We need people like Julius Malema in South Africa, men that are completely dedicated to their country. Julius Malema left the African Congress of South Africa, which is probably the biggest party in Africa, the oldest party in Africa, in fact, the strongest party in Africa. He left that party. He did not jump to the second strongest, which is the Democratic Alliance. No, because they did not match the ideology that made him leave his party. He started a movement from the grassroots, carrying his people along. It has taken him many years, but we know that is true dedication. True dedication. Julius Malema could have jumped to any party he liked, and also ran for president of South Africa and done. No, but we want true dedication, and that's the point I was making, that we as Nigerian people, we must be dedicated to our freedom. You know, I mean, look at even this APC government we have today. When they were going to come into power 8 years ago, you know, they didn't just come with a president. They knew that if they came with just the president, they would not accomplish anything. They came with president and governors and senators, both in state and federal level. And even at that, for the first 4 years of Buhari's presidency, he was at loggerheads with his Senate for the first 4 years. So imagine somebody that's not even in the same party as them. So, yeah, you know, when Buhari came into power, I was 32 years. Now I'm 40 years, you know. We've done this whole change business that doesn't have any, what's it called, substance to it. So when we Nigerian people are serious and want to do this business, you know, we'll do the business. You know, and we'll do it by ourselves, you know, not with the help of the same establishment politicians that have ruined our country already. You know, that's my point, you know.
Well, that's a very interesting analysis, and obviously there'll be people who disagree with you, but that's their entitlement, just as you're entitled to your own sense, your own analysis.
This is democracy, you know.
Absolutely, absolutely. And unfortunately, we haven't got that much time left. I think we've got about a couple of minutes, which is really sad, because you are a very interesting person. But before we go, let me get your reaction to this policy of Naira redesign, which was made, you know, public a few months ago, and at the time you seemed to be in support of it. You spoke publicly about how it would help bring out money that's been hidden under people's beds and in the safes and away from the banking system. And the best way to get them to bring out that money is to change the look of the Naira and give a deadline for the expiration of the old money. Do you still stand by your support for that policy?
Yeah, I mean, I stand by the support of the policy to change the Naira if it's the best way to bring out the money that is hidden under the mattresses, you know, but you fight corruption, corruption fights back, you know. We live in a country where even the central bank governor does not have the interest of Nigerians at heart. You know, the banks themselves do not have the interest of Nigerians at heart. So everybody uses everything as a leverage to gain more power, to gain more influence in the system, you know, and that is what we Nigerians are having to pay for right now. I always tell Nigerians to go back to 2015. We must always remember things, you know. We can't just be forgetting things that happened to us and then want to start afresh. No, always remember and see the correlation within situations so you can draw proper solutions. You know, in 2015 as well, when the elites of this country were also pushing for a regime change, you know, this was the same way they ground our country to a halt. You know, phones were not working. There was no. The only thing that was different now is that this currency one is new. You know, but this is the same thing that they do to us every time. You know, to negotiate more power for themselves. You know, with the incoming administration. You know, so for me that's a shame. You know, that's a shame. But that being said, we can't continue to live in a country where the majority of the cash that is supposed to run the economy is stashed under the sockaway and mattress and bedroom and pillowcase and cooking pot of certain individuals. You know, we as the people of this country deserve better than that. I mean, if you have the money and you don't have anything to do with it, invest it in the economy. You know, create jobs, create employment. You know, why do they just, the same people that hoard Indomie, you know, people with private jets that will hoard Indomie, hoard Gari, hoard rice that was donated for palliative, same behavior they have with the Naira. You know, and the real reason why there's no Naira in circulation is because, the funny thing is because the same people that have returned their money from under the bed have packed all the new Naira and put it under the bed too.
And on that incredibly jocular note, I want to thank you very much, and please come back and talk to us again. We'll give you a lot more time. Seun Kuti is, of course, a multi-talented, multi-instrumentalist, Grammy award-nominated Afrobeat star, and he was talking to me there from Lagos. That's it for this edition of Arise Prime Time. Join us again next week. From me and the entire team here in Abuja and Lagos, bye-bye, and thank you for watching.